What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well, having a good Tuesday afternoon. And the saga is over. The saga is complete. Antony is confirmed to officially be a Manchester United player. The announcement we all knew was coming. We all knew the announcement was coming. Nevertheless, Antony is now officially a Manchester United player. Of course, subject to all of the trimming, shall we say, that you expect when it comes to transfers, subject to visa, medical, international clearance, etc., etc., etc. But indeed, Antony is a Manchester United player. It has been confirmed in the last few minutes or so by Manchester United. They have indeed made the announcement. Yes, Antony is a United player. So let's get straight into what United have said. Let's get into the fees. Let's get into... Is he going to be available for the game against Leicester on Thursday? Is he going to be available for the game against Arsenal on Sunday? We're going to get it all covered in this short show. So I hope you're all doing well. Settle in, smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Of course, no Flex, no KG with me because they are currently preparing something very special. Of course, Flex and KG is going to be back this evening at 6 p.m. So we've got every base covered here for you when it comes to everything Manchester United. We'll get your chaps up on the screen as always. David Lee, big up the mod, says big up Owen. I like this one from JP87TM, who, as you can see on the screen, is a member of the UV Members Club. 3 months. He's got the blue badge. Says, I've just knee slid on my gravel drive after hearing this news, which is tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. VK says, big up Owen. And the Owen emoji, yes, if you are a member of the UV Members Club, you have the Owen emoji, so you can put them in the chat right now. And a man says, Owen still looks tired. I'm always tired. I'm always tired, Ahmad. So I appreciate all of the support as we settle in. So let's get into Manchester United's announcement that they have made in the last couple of minutes or so. Tweeting the following. This is the statement, sure, as you would expect, saying, quote, Manchester United has announced, or has reached rather, an agreement with Ajax for the transfer of Antony, subject to a medical, player terms being finalised, and international clearance. Antony has 31 goals and 27 assists in 134 club appearances for Ajax and Sao Paulo, and 2 goals and 2 assists in 9 senior appearances for his native Brazil. He has won 2 Eredivisie titles and a gold medal in the 2020 Summer Olympics, of course, for his native Brazil. Now, more details about this. Of course, it's a €100 million package, 95 million euros up front, 5 million eurons. I've just invented a new currency. Euros in add-ons. Euros add-ons, just move them together. You get eurons. Yeah, it's like a cryptocurrency. That's my new cryptocurrency. Eurons. God, they're shooting through the roof to the moon with the eurons. 95 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons as well. So it has been confirmed. Now, a lot of people are questioning or want to know, is he going to be available for the game against Leicester on Thursday? The answer to that is no. It's been reported by the likes of Jamie Jackson, Laurie Whitwell and others that Antony will not be available for Manchester United against Leicester, but he could be available against Arsenal if everything else is sorted quickly. The reason behind Antony not being available for the Leicester game is because his visa isn't ratified in time. And of course, you also need to have him registered in time. So his visa will not allow him to be registered in time. So that's why they say subject to international clearance, subject to, visas, subject to all this kind of stuff. I mean, they say in the official announcement they're subject to a medical. We actually know that his medical has been completed. Fabrizio Romano reported it yesterday that his medical had been completed. As far when they say player terms being finalised, Manchester United and Antony had a full contract agreed something like 10 days ago, I believe it was reported by the likes of Romano. The key thing is the international clearance, which will happen. It will just be a case of a couple of days. And that's the reality that we live in. But how are we all feeling? How are we all feeling about this transfer? The saga is over. It wasn't as long and protracted as the Frankie de Jong saga, which of course never happened. But we could be seeing Antony be making his debut, his Manchester United debut at Old Trafford on Sunday against Arsenal under the lights. I mean, Arsenal are talking about how much they've started this season so well, and I have heard some ludicrous talk, it must be said. I have heard some ludicrous talk about them saying, can Arsenal go another season unbeaten? Are you kidding me? And they think it's going to be another invincible season because they won their first 4 games. Now, maybe this will get clipped and I'll be laughed at towards the end of the season, but the fact that they've beaten 4 teams they should beat, and they're talking about going invincible. Oh, I would just love it if Antony made his debut, scored against Arsenal and got the win. How great. How great would that be? But, speaking of, great, would you define Manchester United's transfer window as great when it comes to now signing Antony? I mean, when it comes to extra business, it must be said, and what other business we can expect after Antony, it's also being reported by the likes of Laurie Whitwell and others. Simon Stone has also said this, which means basically this is what the club has told them. The only other remaining bit of business in this transfer window is going to be Martin Dubravka from Newcastle in that loan with an optional £5 million signing clause in there as well. But once that Dubravka transfer is done, it's expected to be the end of signings at Old Trafford for this summer. Now, that's not to say a few players could go out between now and the transfer deadline in a couple of days. Of course, James Garner's future is still up in the air. Clubs like Leicester, Everton, Southampton are looking at him. Other people that we have heard possibly could leave, people like Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now that looks unlikely because we'd have to get a replacement when it comes to someone like a James Garner, who I still can't believe we're selling. I still think that's crazy, but someone like James Garner, you're not necessarily going to have to buy a replacement for. We do have quite a few midfielders at the club. When it comes to people like right back, if we sold Wan-Bissaka, we're short. That's the problem. We're short. So don't expect any more incomings after Dubravka because it appears that Dubravka is going to be the final bit of business for Manchester United this summer. But how are we all feeling about the signing? I think that we can talk about the price, and the price will be spoken about. And as I've spoken about before, I do feel bad. I feel bad for Antony because it's not his fault. Manchester United have been caught up in a perfect storm when it comes to this transfer, in my opinion. You're looking at Manchester United taking too long on deals and being arrogant, frankly, when it comes to transfers, right? We can barge in late and just offer a load of money because we're Manchester United. We should have signed Antony earlier. Fact. That is completely factual. So you've got Manchester United taking time over deals. You've got arrogance in how they operate in the transfer market. You've also got a transfer market that's incredibly inflated when it comes to Premier League clubs buying players. Clubs around Europe know that Premier League clubs have money, and a lot of it. And that's why you're seeing people like Gordon being linked with £60 million moves. That's why you're seeing Fofana go for 70-odd million pounds. The Premier League market is just unbelievably inflated. So you've got Manchester United being slow. You've got Manchester United's arrogance. You've got the Premier League market being inflated. And then you've also got Manchester United being even slower than they usually are because of the pursuit of Frenkie de Jong, which took 3 months, and they put this pot of money aside that they were going to spend on him. They then realized maybe 10 or so days ago, we ain't getting Frenkie de Jong, so they panicked. Plus the start of the season, it all led to this perfect storm that leads to purchasing Antony for €100 million. For a player that isn't worth €100 million. We know that. I can hold my hands up. I mean, if he's 22 years of age, so if he's up Manchester United for a decade and he is successful, then €100 million will look like pennies, frankly. So it's difficult to judge that on that point. But the pressure, there will be pressure on him. There'll be scrutiny on him. Make no mistake, in that game against Arsenal, when he tries a step over, when he tries to spin the ball around or something like that, and it doesn't pay off, or someone tackles him, they'll be like, oh, €100 million for this player. What a load of rubbish, rah, rah, rah. As long as he's successful and he can bring success to Manchester United, I don't care. That's the thing with all of these big transfers, isn't it? Is that people talk about them and people will judge people based on them, even though it's not their fault. It's the club's fault, it's agents' fault, it's the market's fault. It's not their fault. But if they're successful, that's how you silence people when it comes to transfers. People said the same about Virgil van Dijk, right? When Virgil van Dijk was bought for Liverpool for what, 75 million euro? Oh, it's insane. 75 million quid, I think it was. It's insane, it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. But he was successful. He's been successful at Liverpool. So people shut up. When it's people like Romelu Lukaku and they've been bought for a lot of money and they're not successful, people talk about them. And that's just it. I mean, as long as he's successful, I could care less about the transfer fee. Now, my hope is, because I know this ownership, I know the Glazers, my hope is that they don't use this deal as an excuse not to continue purchasing players in January or next summer. If next summer I hear, wow, we purchased Antony last year and it was a lot of money, so, I'm not sure about that. No. We know Manchester United's budget every single year, and we certainly know it's not coming out of the Glazers' pocket, it's coming out of the pocket of the club. Manchester United buy players with the amount of money they generate, their own revenue. Manchester United is a self-sustaining club without owners that invest, that actually take money out of the club. Okay, and make no mistake, while I do think we have had a good transfer window overall, and we'll get into the crux of the window overall in a second. While I do think we have had a window overall, as we keep mentioning, you can't let it distract you from what is the main issue, which is the ownership issue at Manchester United as well. That's the transfer we all want. I keep saying it. The transfer we all want is the Glazers out of the club. Now, you can separate both issues because Manchester United does have to continue operating on a day-to-day basis, and that's what's happened with these signings, and that's what will continue to happen with Manchester United, irrespective of the Glazers, because they could care less, right? They could care less when it comes to transfers. I do think, overall, United have had a good window. I said it before. I do think we have had a good window. If you'd have said to me, heading into this window, you can sign 5 players that will go straight into the starting 11, 5 first-team starters that will actively improve Manchester United, I'd have said thank you very much. Now, how we got here was certainly a bumpy ride, and if we miss out on the top 4, by 6 points, you will look to these first 2 games of the season. You will look to Brighton, you will look to Brentford and say, that's on the board. That's on the board, that's on Richard Arnold, that's on John Murtough for being slow. Because those 2 games were certainly winnable. Brighton at home, Brentford away, difficult games, but Manchester United should be winning those games. So if we miss out on the top 4 by 6 points, you point to those games. But as the window shuts in a couple of days, I'm looking at a very different Manchester United side. Certainly a way more balanced Manchester United side than was there previously. Players that I feel like I can trust. Players that I feel like I can believe in. Now, that belief may be completely eradicated very quickly, and maybe that will happen. But I do look at a side that I feel is far more balanced than was before. For the first time in a while, I'm looking at a Manchester United side where in nearly every position, there are players involved in that position that's their best role. That's their best position. How many times have we spoken about over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years of, this player, it's not really his best role, but it's the best we've got right now, or ideally he'd be on this side, but it's the best we've got right now. Square pegs, round holes. I look at a starting 11. I mean, let's name it. Let's name the starting 11 here. I did it the other day, but we'll continue it here. So in goal, you've got David De Gea, and that will be an issue, frankly, and it's an issue that I didn't think was going to get addressed in this window. Maybe in January, maybe next season. But okay, David De Gea in goal. Terrell Malacia has the left-back spot right now, and absolutely he's forced Luke Shaw out of it, and I don't see when Luke Shaw gets it back in terms of big games. Shaw will play Europa League and Cup games, but Terrell Malacia, that's his spot right now. I look at the centre-back partnership of Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane, and I'm very happy with it. I'm very comfortable with that. I'm very happy. For the first time again in a long time, I look at that and say, that's a partnership. That's a real partnership right there. That's quality. That's aggression. That's passion. They complement each other so well. You've got the aggression and the passion of someone like Lisandro Martinez, who wins his duels, by the way. Graham Souness, you're not watching, but if you ever see this, you've got someone like Lisandro Martinez that wins his duels, and you've also got Rafael Varane, who's much calmer, who can, again, if Martinez is going to go and intercept the ball, Varane can drop deep. They complement each other so well. Right back, Diogo Dalot, I think has been very good the last 2 games, certainly, and is growing and is still young. I would prefer to have more strength in depth in that right back spot, but you can't get everything in one window. This isn't Football Manager. This isn't FIFA. We wish we could. We wish everything was like Ultimate Team, but it isn't, unfortunately. So that right back situation will have to be improved at another time. But that back 4, there's something in that back 4, absolutely. You then look at the 2 deeper midfielders. You look at Casemiro, a real defensive midfielder. For once, yes, Manchester United have a defence midfielder of quality. Are there concerns about him being 30 and the reasons for coming to Manchester United? Not honestly, not a ton. Not to the extent of other people. As I mentioned before, Casemiro's record is very good. He's also, again, when it comes to, he doesn't get injured that much, touch wood, and he went for Manchester United. But also he's a winner. And we need that. We need winners. We need people that care about winning and playing. Remember when he said, if it was up to me, I'd be playing against Liverpool today. He didn't. But even when he came on for that cameo against Southampton, there's something a bit different about him, isn't there, that we don't have. So I'm looking at Casemiro, then I'm looking next to him, Christian Eriksen, deep line playmaker, can actually pick out passes that open in 20 minutes against Southampton. I thought he was excellent. I really did. I thought he was excellent. The passes he can pick out, I mentioned he's a free transfer. He walks into our side. He's the best technical player we've got. in what he can do. So that's quality there. In front of them, you've got Bruno Fernandes, who, against Southampton, was not good. He was not good, but he got the goal, and that's what he does. I would think, he still needs to up his performance levels, but we know what he can offer and what he can do. On the left-hand side, you've got Jadon Sancho or Marcus Rashford. On the right-hand side, you've got Antony. So therefore, you've got two wingers there. There are inverted wingers. You've got a right-footed left winger, and you've got a left-footed right winger, specifically an Antony. Then up front, you've got Martial, and at the moment looks to be like Cristiano Ronaldo, and I guess maybe Marcus Rashford as well. And I'm missing out a couple of players that are also on the periphery of the Manchester United squad there. So I look at that starting 11. I said there's balance there. There is. And there is, most importantly, on top of balance, there's something to build upon there. Is that team perfect? No. Is that squad perfect? No. Do we have the strongest squad in the league? No. Are we going to win the Premier League this season? No. Are we going to win a cup this season? I have no idea. But in terms of a first window, in what is a ginormous rebuild that is going to take multiple windows and multiple years, I'm content with that. I'm content with that starting 11. I'm content with our manager. I'm content with our coach. I'm not content with our owners. And I still think people like Richard Arnold and John Murtough, just because of how we've got here, don't deserve to be totally let off the hook. I would hope that they have learnt from this window, and I would hope the more time they spend working with Erik ten Hag, and I would hope the more time that the recruitment department spends working with Erik ten Hag, that we don't have these same issues last year. But fool me once, right? Fool me once. I'll believe it when I see it. But certainly, I think Antony is a very good signing for Manchester United. I do believe Antony is a good signing. I think that, again, he offers us balance, he offers us pace, he offers us this creativity that we don't have in those wide areas. I think Flex has made a really good point about it recently when it comes to Jadon Sancho, on the type of winger that he is. Jadon Sancho is a winger that can beat people by, a little bit of trickery or a little bit of technique, whereas Antony can beat a player by raw pace. And that's the one thing we have actually been missing in those wider areas, is that just that raw pace, that raw winger that people can beat, that can beat people just by being so fast. And obviously Antony, we've seen all the compilations of him, the trickery, Jugger Benito and all that kind of stuff, but he brings pace and he brings energy to a front line that at times is going to need it, certainly. And he brings with him a want to play for Manchester United. This is his dream move. The guy forced it through. He went on strike. He went on strike to get this deal done. And that's what we need. We need people that want to be at Manchester United as well. How often have we had that conversation? Certainly last season, of players that don't want to be here can leave. Well, this player certainly wants to be here. And he did everything he could to get here. And hopefully that is reciprocated on the pitch as well, because we need it. We need people that are bought into Erik ten Hag's style, can do Erik ten Hag's style, which tick, and we need people that want to be here. And absolutely Antony fits that category as well. Super chat from Austin Baker, appreciate the contribution, says, deadline hitting soon, is Garnacho getting loaned? It would appear not. It would appear not. We haven't heard anything, certainly, about Alejandro Garnacho. I think the only thing we really heard about him this summer was possibly a contract extension. I believe his contract expires at the end of the season. My hope is that we do see more of him this season. Didn't play a lot in pre-season. We didn't really know why. I mean, he was on tour, but we didn't really see much of him. I think he made his first pre-season appearance at Old Trafford against Rayo Vallecano when he came on. So I guess the hope would be that he would be playing some of the Europa League games, maybe, possibly Carabao Cup. Of course, we've got Aston Villa in the third round of the Carabao Cup, so he might be involved in that as well. So my assumption is that Alejandro Garnacho will be sticking around at Manchester United, seemingly so. I've got nearly 700 people watching, so smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner as well. Remember, you can join the UV Members Club by clicking the link in the video description. I believe it's also the pinned comment in the live chat as well. You get your exclusive members only content, such as UV Raw. Episode 2 dropped yesterday of UV Raw. If you're not familiar with what UV Raw is, it's a behind the scenes look at the day-to-day operations at United View, so you can see how we set up, you can see what happens before we go live or after we go live, or as we're prepping to go live, or sometimes the controlled, organised chaos that is United View, specifically on a match day. So the latest episode of UV Raw is a behind-the-scenes look at how we sort of got ready, or how we got to sorting out the Liverpool match day experience. So you see behind the scenes in the studio, you see Flex travelling, you see Flex behind the scenes in his interview with Sky Sports and Talk Sport, and Josh's antics. Josh is really the glue. He's the genius that holds together United View. So I would really recommend it if you're a member to check out that, because it's absolutely fantastic. And also you get your badges and your emojis too, as I can see in the chat right now. For instance, Emma has got the Owen emoji up right there. Imran's got the Phelan emoji. You can get your Marcel Porridge emoji. So if you haven't already, be sure to join the UV members club as well. You can also nominate us for the Football Content Awards too. The links are in the video description for that. You can go to the Instagram links and you just go to the specific posts and you can tag us there at United View TV on Instagram. That's a way of nominating us. Or you can also go to the Football Content Awards website and nominate us there. There's sort of two stages of it. There's one where you get nominated and then you have the sort of the final list and then it gets voted on there as well. But look, as we said this morning, just to be nominated after just we're a baby here at United View. So just to be nominated would be absolutely brilliant. So really appreciate that. Watsy live with the super chat. Appreciate the contribution. Watsy says, don't let your dad print his name on the shirt. Well, my dad's name or Antony's name? Antony's name. I did actually speak to my dad earlier today and he has confirmed, this is an exclusive, United View exclusive. He has confirmed that he's not getting any more shirts this season. So he's actually refused. He said he's not getting the green one. He could never. So no more jinxes, no more curses. We do know that the other people he has on his shirts this season are Lisandro Martinez and Marcus Rashford. So, and he apologised in advance. It's working out for Martinez at the moment. Maybe the curse has been lifted. Maybe Papa has lifted the curse. I don't know. I don't want to go too far. It's early days. It's early days, but he's not going to be getting Antony on the shirt, so that's certainly a positive as well. Now, a few extra details about Antony and his move to Manchester United. Antony will be the third most expensive signing in Manchester United's history. Only two players have come to Manchester United for higher fees, that being Romelu Lukaku from Everton in 2017 for £90 million. Paul Pogba, of course, still has the record for the most expensive signing in Manchester United history for his transfer from Juventus in 2016 for £93.3 million. In comparison, Antony signs for Manchester United for £86 million, again subject to completion. These fees do include potential add-ons too. But what is quite interesting actually in this window, if you look at the 6 most expensive Manchester United signings of all time, 2 of them have actually come in this window. So you've got Antony at £86 million, again, the 3rd most expensive Manchester United signing of all time, and also the 6th most expensive signing of all time for Manchester United, that being Casemiro at £70 million. So again, certainly we've seen money spent for Manchester United in this window. Does it mean we're going to compete this season? You know, I don't know about that, but Ralph Rangnick spoke about major surgery being needed for Manchester United or on Manchester United's squad. And have we seen that this summer? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I mean, it's a difficult one to say. Ralph said about surgery, right? Man United needs surgery. Have we seen surgery this summer? We've seen some stitches, certainly. Again, you look at. I go back to it. You've got 5 first-team signings that go into the squad. These aren't signings where we're just filling out the squad. They go into the first team. They start. And I don't know. I don't know if Antony's going to start against Arsenal. But, you know, I would expect maybe after that, all of those 5 players to be in Manchester United starting 11. The squad, the team, certainly looks radically different from last season. Think about it. Is that surgery or open heart surgery? Maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't go that far. But it's certainly, there's been a trip to the doctors here. Austin Baker says some band-aids and a bit of surgery. Scalano says not been major surgery, more like stents have been implanted. Imran says that is surgery. Ralph started with 5 new players and up to 10. Yeah, I mean, VK says no heart transplant, but we did unclog some arteries. I'm not sure if I would go as far to say like that's been full open heart surgery, but I think surgery has been done on the team. And again, we do have to taper our expectations. There is, as I said before, there is an absolutely valid argument for every single position, or there was, for every single position in Manchester United starting 11 that you could recruit a new player for. You could have got 11 new players and it would have been absolutely justified. The issue is that's just not realistic at this high level. I believe someone said to me this morning, well, Notts Forest did it. We're talking different situations here. We're talking top tier clubs, elite level transfers and up for a lot of money. And we're not talking about a newly promoted side. We're talking about Manchester United as well. So you do have to taper your expectations of how many deals or how many first team signings it's even possible to do in a window. And again, I'm cautious not to give Manchester United too much credit because, the way we've done it, the way we've got to this point has not been ideal and it could have been done earlier. But I do think United have done a good window. I do. Imran says we got a bypass. DWN says Casemiro is a heart transplant. Kristen says new butt implants now need money for the chest. Essentially, I think a lot of people are saying that there's still work to do, which I think is fair. There is still work to do for Manchester United. Do these 5 signings completely resolve Manchester United's issues? No, they don't. Let's be honest, they don't. But I'm more confident going into the remainder of this season than I was a couple of weeks ago, which I do think is a positive. And as the window shuts, this group of players, that starting 11, if they can all stay fit and they can avoid, whatever it may be, then I think we can. I mean, where's the limit for United this season? That's still a really difficult question to answer, actually, isn't it? Because coming off of last season, to say that, we're going to get top 4 still feels like a bit of a stretch. But I look at that starting 11 and I also say, why not? I mean, is the limit 4th for United this season? What do people think? Now that essentially the business is nearing completion of, they say Dubravka is going to be the last signing. Where do we think? Where do we think we should be finishing? Or where do we think we are going to be finishing this season? Are we looking at that starting 11 that we spoke about earlier and saying that can get in the top 4? Are we still saying probably 5th, probably 6th? Still more work to do. What's the expectation now? Because again, Manchester United this summer have spent, was it nearly 250? Over £200 million. Would the expectation be, after spending that amount, be to get in the top 4? Because I think maybe those at the club might be saying, that's a big spend, but also at the same time that is a big spend, but we needed to spend, and also that big spend is because some of the business or the way we were approaching our business was stupid, and we left it so late. It could have been less than that. And then maybe the pressure wouldn't have been as much. That's what's so frustrating about Manchester United. Is it's always so complex. It is. See what you guys are saying. Daz Sweet says top 4 is a must. Troll Potato, that's a great name, says 5th. Kristen says 4th with a cup. Kay says 4 or 5th with Europa. Tabaslaw saying 6. Truth Wins UK says top 4 must be the aim now. Trevor going high, saying 2nd or 3rd. It's tough to say. It is. I mean, Drew says top 4 depends on how fast this team gels with new players and a lack of injuries. That is the key thing, isn't it? If that starting 11 can remain fit, you would say, well, top 4 can be on. Absolutely, it can. Look at some of the players that are involved in that team. Of course, it can be on. But once we having to start sort of delving into our squad of players, and there will be a time. Look, there's going to be a time where Varane gets injured, so Maguire's going to come in. There's, Malacia can't play every game. Dalot can't play every game. So we're going to see Shaw and Wan-Bissaka at points. Casemiro and Eriksen can't play every game. So we're going to see McFred. Again, I know people say, it's the end of Fred and McTominay. It's not. They're going to play games. Will there come a time where Rashford or Sancho are both injured? Then what happens to the left-hand side? That's when Garnacho comes in. So we're still on the precipice. We're still like 2 or 3 injuries or suspensions away from struggling, you feel like, again. But I would feel that certainly Erik ten Hag will be feeling. I think Erik ten Hag will be feeling that that's an 11, certainly, that can challenge for the top 4 spaces. I think that as certainly a competition like the Europa League, depending on who drops back into it from the Champions League, but they'll be looking at that as a competition to win, certainly as well. So I think that there certainly are positives there, and most importantly, would you say, and this is I think a big question too, with this window, so you're looking at what, Malacia, Eriksen, Martinez, Casemiro, Antony, and Dubravka, you've got to include him, but those 6 players, would you say that Erik ten Hag has been backed? Has Erik ten Hag been backed by Manchester United with that window? Let me know in the chat as we read this super chat from Ramo saying 4th plus FA Cup or 6th plus Europa League trophy. 6 plus, that's a difficult one actually, isn't it? You know what? I mean, you still get in Europe, don't you? You do get in Europe. That's a tough one, actually. I don't care. as long as we get in the Champions League and we get the Champions League and win a trophy, I'll take it. I'll take either one. Alicia says yes, he has. Yeha says no. Mio says yes. Fitter says yes. Truthwin says he's been backed in my opinion. Owen says no. He wanted De Jong and Timber instead of Martinez and Nunes. Tabaslow said I'll take FA Cup ahead of the Europa League as well. Let me put a poll in the chat as well. Has Erik ten Hag been backed? There you go. The poll's in the chat because I think this is quite an interesting one actually as to if he's been backed or not. Kristen says yes but needs more. And Darren says been backed, a little too late though. I would say that Ten Hag I think has been backed. You know, when you've got a spend of over £200 million and 5 first-team starters, I think the argument that he has been backed is true. Did he get all of his top targets? By all accounts, Darwin Núñez was a top target for him. He chose Liverpool over us, and probably justifiably so, let's be honest. I mean, he wanted to play Champions League football. We can't offer that. The Frankie de Jong one, I don't buy into. Ten Hag wasn't back because we didn't get him. We didn't get Frankie de Jong, not for the lack of trying. We didn't get Frankie de Jong because he didn't want to leave. The fault of the Frankie de Jong situation is that why did we chase a player? Why did we go after a player for such a long period of time when clearly he didn't want to join us? Why didn't we draw that line earlier? What messages were we being given that he was interested? Because clearly the noise that people heard from the start, 1, he doesn't want to leave, and 2, he doesn't want to take a pay cut. That is still exactly the case today. Because Barca still want him. Barca still want him to take a pay cut. He ain't taking a pay cut. He's saying, I'm staying, I've got a contract, I'm not taking a pay cut. Figure out the rest. I'm not going to be one of your levers, basically. I'm not going to be a lever that you sell me and make money. I want to stay here. And that's what he's doing. He's staying, and he's not taking a pay cut. Who knew? So I don't buy into we didn't get Frankie de Jong, therefore Erik ten Hag wasn't back because he didn't get his top target. Because I do in fairness think United did everything they could to get Frankie de Jong. People will say, why didn't they pay the 17 million? They did pay the 17 million. They upped their price. They upped the transfer fee to pay for that. And, you know, he didn't want to come. That's it. So, you know, I don't buy into that one. But I would say in reality, I think Erik ten Hag has been backed. And I think he has the tools to certainly push for top 4 this season. I think this is an interesting one here. David says, he has been backed, but not in the optimal way, i.e. getting them early for the right prices, more in the look at the money we spent this window way, which I think is probably fair. I think that's a fair point. I think you're right, David. I think that Erik ten Hag has been backed. Is it in the optimal way? Is it in the right way? Is it in terms of he was backed, he had all of his players on the preseason tour, every target he went after, he got no. You know, ultimately, bottom line, he has been, but it's not been in the ideal way. And it's not really been the way that he would probably want. But given the window we've had, I think he'll be like, you know what, I'll take it. We got there. We got there in the end. That's probably what he'll be thinking. I can't think for Erik ten Hag, clearly. But if you are just joining us, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Got over 1,000 people watching. So we can get to 500 likes, of course we can. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. If you are just joining us, once again, Manchester United have indeed announced the signing of Antony from Ajax. They released the following statement around 30 or so minutes ago saying Manchester United has reached an agreement with Ajax for the transfer of Antony, subject to a medical, player terms being finalised and international clearance. Antony has 31 goals and 27 assists and 134 club appearances for Ajax and Sao Paulo, and 2 goals and and 2 assists in 9 senior appearances for his native Brazil. He has won 2 Eredivisie titles and a gold medal in the 2020 Summer Olympics. As we spoke about previously, Antony will not be available for Manchester United against Leicester, but he could be available against Arsenal if his transfer is completed imminently. Again, that's all subject to international clearance, etc. The main reason he's not going to be available for that Leicester game, according to James Ducker of The Telegraph and other sources such as Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic, is because his work visa will not be ratified in time to be registered for that match. Again, the transfer fee for this, including add-ons, is around £86 million. It's 95 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons as well. Antony will be the 3rd most expensive signing in Manchester United's history. Of course, it's also a record fee for a player from the Eredivisie. A couple of other details too. Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News is reporting that Manchester United were impressed by Antony's desire and attitude to reunite with his former manager and join Manchester United. It's also been reported by the likes of Laurie Whitwell and Simon Stone from the BBC that the only remaining target now is Martin Dubravka, who of course we got a here we go regarding Dubravka to Manchester United last night from Fabrizio Romano. And once this Dubravka transfer is done, it is expected to be the end of the signings at Old Trafford this summer. We could still see more players go out, including the likes of James Garner. Leicester, Everton and Southampton are all currently looking at deals for the United midfielder. So there you go, guys. Let us know your thoughts on the signing of Antony in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the like button. As I mentioned, you can join the UV Members Club by clicking the link in the video description. There's also the pinned comment in the live chat. And if you wish to nominate us for the Football Content Awards, you can also do that by clicking the link in the video description. Or you can go on Instagram and nominate us for the categories there. Or go to the website. I believe it's footballcontentawards.com/voting, something like that. Links in the video description. You can go find it there. I'm out of here. Remember also, Flex and KG Show is back for the first time in, I believe, over a month. Something like that. Flex and KG Show is back tonight, 6 p.m. usual time slot. So be sure to join the guys then. I'm out of here. Have a good one, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.